Around the middle of June, I did a Zoom interview with Rigby Taylor. I'm going to check the name, it's not easy pronunciation. The CEO of Soilscape. Now, today I'm speaking to the man who's in charge of promoting what goes on in the UK, Adam Sedgwick, who's the Vice President of International Sales. Good morning, Adam. Nice to see you. For those who missed that interview with Yalmari back in June, can you just give a little bit of an outline as to what Soilscape is all about?
Yeah, well, Soilscape, we're a small Finnish company and looking at soil data and soil technology. So we produce a very small, concise, completely underground wireless moisture, temperature and salinity sensor.
When I spoke to Yalmari, we were in the early stages of lockdown. None of us had an idea as to what was going to be the future for us over the short term or indeed the long term. We're now nearing the end of October. How have things been for you guys over the last, 5 or 6 months?
It's been a little strange, Scott, and a few people I've spoken to in the industry have seen the same. But for us as a small company, there are elements of the lockdown and the pandemic that have helped us in a way, because we've been able to sort of sit down, replan, re-strategize a little and look at what we're doing. But and I think that's been the same for so many. Unfortunately, that's come at the cost of a lot of jobs for certain people, which is terrible. But the other side of it, which is the negative, we've all lost a lot of visibility. So we've lost our BTMEs, we've lost our GIS, we've lost Saltex for this year. So we've all lost a lot of visibility. So we've got to think of ways to overcome that.
Now you are still a relatively new name within the industry. So the doors you're knocking on, you're doing it for the first time, really. How receptive have those customers and potential customers been to you when you've done that knocking on the door?
Pretty good, to be honest, because our reseller for the UK is Rigby Taylor, who we partner with quite heavily. And I'm sure everyone knows Peter Corbett at Rigby Taylor. So Peter and I have worked quite heavily at looking at the product in depth, really gaining some knowledge, get some installations where we can get some really good, thorough data from names that people in the industry trust. So that's been a big plus for us, having someone like Rigby Taylor's to promote the product for us.
Now, it's very much working with the soil, greenkeepers, groundsmen. It used to be very much seen as an art. Now it's seen as a science. Yeah. You're very much going down the science route, and you can give the guys the data that they require to produce the wonderful surfaces that are really a necessity now. People don't accept second best. The art of it is still there to a degree, but very much the science is to the fore. Is that something you guys would agree with, obviously?
Yes and no. I don't want to change the way anyone does anything, because these guys, this is an industry, whether it's on the golf side or the sports turf side, where there's not many industries that have education sectors like we've got through the associations. And that's something that everyone in this industry should be very proud of. So they're trained very well to do what they do, look after the soil, look after the plant that's growing in the soil, so that they're looking at everything. What we want to do is help them become more efficient with it. So we're in an age of auditable actions. So we want to give them the data that they can then go to their club managers, their committees, that sort of thing, to have the evidence. Yes, we need this much water. This is why we spend this. This is why we irrigate when we do. This is the time why we need fungicides and fertilizers when we do, because of these temperatures. And that sort of thing. And also minimizing labor from other products going out sampling with manual sensors. So we don't want to change them because they're all good at what they do. They all know their properties very well. So we just want to help them become more efficient in a day and age where a lot of them have got less staff now.
Now, is the Soilscape product something that's really exclusive to the top end market, or is it something that's going to be or is accessible to the more regular sports club, golf club, potential customer of yours?
Both, very much so. The top end guys like the auditable action. They like the control for the finesse, where they can really fine tune their actions. For me, I'm wrongly saying this possibly, but for me, my heart feels that the League 1 and 2 football clubs and the conference level and the lower budget guys, the mid spectrum of golf courses, professional rugby where budgets are tight, they're the guys that can really get the value, because if they can minimize their usages but still get the same sort of surfaces that they require, if they can really fine tune surfactant regimes, fertilizer regimes, pesticide regimes, they're the guys that will benefit most from becoming more efficient. And that's where the industry is struggling most right now as well.
Now, I know it's exciting times for the company, and you've now got a little bit of help over here. You're not a one-man band in the UK, as far as I understand it. What are your hopes for the future? Putting COVID aside, let's see yourselves hopefully through COVID and look into the future. What is that future going to hold in this short, medium, and longer term for you guys at Soil Scout?
We've increased our team in Finland a little bit. We've brought in a guy who's a soil agronomist, been worked in soil remediation quite heavily globally, and so he's given us a slightly different element. I've brought in a guy part-time here to help with our marketing, and I'm just literally today looking at recruitment to bring a sales guy in to look after the UK market, to free me up to look at the other markets that we're developing. So short term is bring a new face in. Medium term is get them settled and learn the product, learn our customer base well, and introduce them. And long term, have a look at where we're going globally. We're making good inroads in the USA right now as well. So it's exciting times. I'm really excited to be working with a small company like we are and seeing it grow. And in Yalmari that you spoke to in June, we have a fantastic CEO that's steering a great ship quite tightly and giving us a good foundation to work from.
Well, Adam, it's great to get a chance to meet up with you, although it is across a screen rather than in person. I hope that goes away and we do get a chance to meet up in person fairly soon. So good luck with everything, and thank you very much for giving up a little bit of your time to talk with Tough Matters this morning.
No, thanks for having us again, Scott, and I'm sure it won't be too long before we're knocking a ball around the Roxborough.